What is up, everybody? Today we are back on Minecraft, and today I have a super cool glitch for you all on how to get the ender crystal into the overworld and, put it anywhere in your world that you want to, as opposed to just in the end. So let's go ahead and I will show you guys exactly how to do this in your world. Okay, so the first step in actually getting your end crystal is going to be killing the ender dragon. Now, don't ask me how difficult that's going to be to do in survival mode, because I'm sure it would be almost literally near impossible, but it is doable. It is doable, especially if you have a bunch of friends, but it's going to be very, very tough to do in survival mode. Just keep that in mind, that the first thing you need to do is actually go ahead and kill the ender dragon. Now, in order to do it easily, or the most easiest, I guess, is what I did is I destroyed most of the ender crystals, all except for 2. So obviously there are, however many ender crystals normally, and what I did is I destroyed all of them except for this one here, which is straight in line with the fountain here, and the one directly across over there. Just in case you mess up, it's always better to have one, or better to have 2 than 1. And so I like to save 2 of them, and otherwise you just want to fly around and destroy all the other ender crystals, and then just go ahead and kill the ender dragon. I don't know how you're going to do it, but it is kind of difficult. It does take a little while, but it is doable, so just hang in there, and then once you've gone ahead and killed the ender dragon, you can actually start moving your end crystal. Now, I choose the ones that are directly off of the fountain over there, primarily because it's going to make moving them a whole lot easier. Because when we go ahead and we start moving this, all we have to do is move it in a straight line and then down into the fountain, as opposed to if you got one of these, you'd have to move it, like over to the left and then over and then down. So you got to move it more different directions if you get one that isn't directly in line with it. And so that's why I like this one here. Now that you've gone ahead and decided which ender crystal you want to go ahead and move, what you want to go ahead and do is just break out all of the obsidian underneath the ender crystal here. So I'm just going to go ahead and bust it out just like this. I'd like to break out 1 or 2 layers. I'll just go ahead and do 2 for the sake of the video. So I'll just break out this one, and you can see underneath here, you can see how this block is kind of glitching. You can see how the it looks like there's some bedrock trying to glitch through there. What you want to go ahead and do is just hit it right there, and boom, you can see it deactivates the end crystal, and so now there's no longer a flame there. Now we're ready to start moving this thing. So what we want to go ahead and do is just grab ourselves some dirt or whatever block you like, as well as a sticky piston, a torch, or a lever, whichever you prefer. A lever is probably easier. And then we want to go ahead and set up some pistons. So I'm just going to go ahead and start by setting up some dirt here right next to this guy. You can see I am about 1 block away here. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is place another 2 blocks here, and then place a piston right here. And so now essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and put a lever here, and when I go ahead and activate this piston, you're going to see it is going to push the end crystal. And so what we want to do is just go ahead and just keep placing blocks here, and then just keep pushing it over. And so it does take a little bit of time to do, right? It's not the fastest movement strategy probably, but it's the only one that we know of. And so I'm just going to go ahead and just keep moving this over towards the fountain. And I'll go ahead and speed this up because it'll be very, very boring. But essentially you just want to keep doing this, placing blocks and moving it over. Now, if when you're doing this in your world, you do it and you get something that just stops the blocks, right? Like it seems like the ender crystal won't move any further, which is a major, major problem I used to have. What you need to go ahead and do is just move it up 1. So if I come over here and I place my sticky piston here instead of obviously where I had it before, and now I start moving it, we should be able to move this no problem. So there, now you can see it'll move. So you just need to go ahead and move it up a block. And this was a major, major problem I had when I tried to do this a week ago. So this glitch was actually sent to me by the Random Gamer over on Twitter. I will have a link to both the video he sent to me, which he made, as well as where he sent it to me over on Twitter, just to show you guys that, obviously he sent me this, and a huge shout out for him, because thank you very, very much for sending me this. You guys are awesome when you guys send me these glitches and awesome things that I can go ahead and showcase to everybody else. And so huge shout out to him. But that was a major problem that I was having when I originally tried to do this, is that it seemed like, it was hitting a wall, right? Like I couldn't push it any further because it would just glitch. And I guess you just have to move it up 1 block and then you can get it to move. Now, another thing you're going to notice when you're trying to do this in your world is that when you get to a certain point, I think it's like 15 blocks out, this will no longer move because the piston just isn't strong enough to move that many blocks. And so then what you want to go ahead and do is just, like I said, like we just did a second ago, just move it right on over, place the piston here as opposed to where we had it obviously way back there, and then just keep doing the same thing, right? Just keep placing your dirt, moving it over. And it might actually be easier to do this with a normal piston instead of a sticky piston, just because then you can put it directly here in front of the piston as opposed to one block out. But that's just, it really doesn't matter because it works either way. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep moving this over, and I will catch up with you guys when we get a little bit closer. Alright, so we're getting pretty close. Now you can see I am directly above the fountain. If we look down, obviously I'm right above it. What we want to go ahead and do now is start moving our ender crystal down into the fountain. Now, when you do this, if you do it incorrectly, you're going to notice that you're going to hit one of these. And so what I like to do is just break out this entire middle block here, as well as a couple on the outside here. It's just going to make getting it into here a whole lot easier because you won't hit any of these blocks. So I like to break out these blocks here, and then we can start moving the ender crystal down. So let's just go ahead and do the same thing we just did. We're just going to place the piston up here instead of where we had it before. Let's place it like, let's see if I can get this. There we are. I'm just going to start moving it downwards, just like so. And then we're just going to go ahead and place a block on the front and just keep moving it down. And so when we get into the fountain, it will actually just teleport it right into the overworld, as you would expect, you know, any other block that goes into a portal to work. So I'm just going to start moving this down, and I'm going to try and show you guys this when it goes in to the fountain here. So let me see how close we are here. So it's probably just one more block or two push, and we should be into the fountain. So let's just go ahead and keep working our way down. Okay, maybe one more here. Alright, so I think if we, on the next push, it should push this into the fountain and then move our ender crystal into the overworld. Let's see if I can show you guys this. There we are, so you can see it totally went into the portal. And so now if we jump in as well, and we just go ahead and skip the credits there, we can see your home bed was missing or obstructed. Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it? So I just got to go ahead and figure out where exactly that teleported to, and I will be right back. Okay, here we are. Now, if you ever like can't find where your end crystal is, it should be around where you teleport back to in the overworld. But you can see mine actually spawned kind of underground a little bit. And so when you go ahead and you actually come back, if you can't find it, just go ahead and commit suicide, and then you should spawn right next to it. Now, you can also see that my end crystals also managed to start a forest fire as well. And I really got to be careful. I'm not going to actually move this right now, because since mine did spawn underground, if you hit this thing once, it will explode and you won't be able to move it anymore or do anything with it. And so I'm just going to leave mine because I don't want to destroy it. But if you get yours like out in an open area, you just have to be really, really careful when you move it, because this thing has a literal time bomb. Like, if you hit this thing, it would explode. But as far as this actual glitch goes, this is about it. This is all you got to know. You can move it the same way that you would move it in the end world. So if I go ahead and I can find myself a sticky piston and a lever, and I started, you know, breaking out these blocks, and I tried to move it, I would be able to move this to anywhere in the overworld I wanted to. But like I said, since mine did spawn, you know, in the ground like this did, I really don't want to move it just because I think it might explode. So as far as this glitch goes, that's about all I have to say. This is really, really cool and really unique, and not very many people know how to do this in their world. And so you can really show it off to your friends and really surprise them with how you got an ender crystal into the overworld. Or maybe don't even tell them, right? And just tell them that you're a magician or something, and really just kind of show it off to your friends. And it's really just kind of cool. And I really want to go ahead and give another shout out to Random Gamer over on both Twitter and YouTube. Thank you very, very, very much for showing me how to do this. This is a really, really cool glitch, and it is really unique and unlike anything I've ever seen before. So I just wanted to bring it to you guys to check out. So make sure you guys do go check out him. And if you guys like me, please do feel free to drop a like down below and subscribe for some more Minecraft console content in the future, because I will have an absolute massive number of videos coming your guys' way. And I think with that said, that's about it for me. I appreciate all of you guys watching. I will see all of you later. Bye!